Well, I have absolutely no idea if you heard the sound. I tried to play it, but I don't know if it played or not. But anyway, welcome back. This is part 2 of Ask the King, episode 46 for September of 2014. If you didn't watch part 1, I recommend you do. There were a lot of big issues and questions that were brought up in that one. That last one, the stream chat was going nuts talking about marijuana and stuff like that, okay? But, okay. So let's get started with the next batch of questions. Here we go. Alright, this question is from Fool1, and he asks the following. He says, in the near or in the far, excuse me, I can't read. Let's try that again. In the far or near future, when you decide to have children, do you think that you will need to find a more stable income than making gaming videos? I think you're a man who knows how to keep his priorities straight and would probably either abandon making videos or turn it back into a hobby. Am I correct? Interesting question, Fool1. And as you guys, if you've been, watching my content over the years, you know that I've talked about this from time to time, about the possibility of actually not doing gameplay as a source of income and stuff like that, but instead branching out and either doing something different on YouTube or the internet, or possibly opening up my own... Sorry, I got distracted. There's a reflection. It's the stupid lamp. Possibly opening up my own business, or maybe getting a different kind of job, maybe in the tech industry, in the entertainment industry, in the gaming industry, okay? I'm not stupid, all right? I'm not dumb. I know, I full well that doing this, what I'm doing right now, for a living, for the rest of my life, if I do want to do something as serious as, say, have kids, is probably not going to work, let's face it, okay? At some point, it's just not going to happen, especially right now. Right now, I own 2 homes. Even though technically I don't want the one in Connecticut, I'm stuck with it for a while. I'm pretty much stretched thin. I've used my credit to furnish this new house, and I don't have a lot of spare money. I'm going to be honest with everyone. I just don't. I don't have a lot of spare money to throw around, okay? And so right now, if I were to, let's have a kid, it wouldn't work. I don't know where the money would come from to raise this kid and stuff like that. And I've always been the kind of person that I want to be responsible, that I don't want to make a jump into something of responsibility unless I know that I can financially handle it. So for a long time, I was like, I really shouldn't try to have a serious girlfriend or move in with a girl until I know that I can afford to have a place, and you know what I mean? And that's kind of the attitude I had. It was different steps in my life. First it was, first get a job, then get a car, then get a place, then worry about a relationship, then worry about moving to a nicer place. And that's kind of been the progression that my life has been. I'm 32 years old, okay? I'm not stupid, and I know that if I want to have kids at some point, that within the next, say, 10 years, I have to make that decision. I'm going to be honest with everyone right now. No, at this point in my life, with what I'm doing, with the instability of what it is that I'm doing, with the fact that things are changing day to day when it comes to the industry, when it comes to gaming, the popularity of gaming videos, no, I cannot have a kid right now. I would be completely irresponsible to the kid. It wouldn't be fair to the kid to have a kid at this time and say, especially with, again, I got to get rid of this place in Connecticut, so that's not a financial burden on me, and all these factors that are coming into this. Hell, I haven't even been able to get a health checkup yet since I've been out here, because I still don't have health care because the state of Washington fucked it all up. Eventually, when I get health care and I get checked out, that's another thing. What if I get checked out and I found out that I have something really wrong with me, right? So if I had a kid, it would be completely irresponsible until I know that I'm healthy, and you know what I mean? There's all these factors. Leanna just yelled that we're not having kids from the next room. If in some point in the future I ever wanted to do that, what I would have to do, honestly, is probably branch out from what I'm doing right now on YouTube and Twitch. It's not enough of a steady, stable income to support a kid. Let's put it that way. And I know that there's many other YouTubers who are probably bigger than me, and they make way more money, and they could do that. I can't, all right? I'm a realist here. I'm being real with you. That's the situation, is that, at one point, 2-3 years ago, if I had kept at that level of popularity, maybe I would have been able to do it. I can't at this point, and I can't. So what I would have to do is one of 2 things. Either go into business for myself, start some kind of either online-based or even brick-and-mortar-based business where I would have a business going that I could run and operate and hopefully make money on that, and that's more consistent while maybe I still do some YouTube stuff. So it's a pairing, you know what I mean? I have a steady job, and then I'm doing the YouTube stuff, or I go back to work, a full-time job, somewhere in the entertainment or gaming industry, hopefully, something with internet-related video on demand and stuff like that, And, you know, I do that as a full-time thing, and then I still do this kind of YouTube thing on the side. If I have the consistency of that, yeah, then I could see that I could possibly consider, you know, having kids in the future. But at this point, I mean, no, there is just no way. I'm a realist. I'm a realist, and I'm not going to say any kind of silliness in my head that, yeah, I can have as many kids as I want. No. I'm a responsible adult. I'm not going to jump into that. You know I can't handle that financially. You know, and quite honestly, with the stuff that I do for work, could I even do it mentally? I don't know. So that is the honest answer right now. That was a really good question, an intelligent question, because a lot of people probably think, if you're a full-time YouTuber, could you do this kind of stuff? Yeah, if I were much bigger, even I could, like I said, if I were as big as I were a few years ago, maybe. At this point, no, it wouldn't be responsible for me to look into doing that. And maybe in a few years that'll change. Maybe in a few years I'll have some other stuff going on. I don't know. We're going to have to see how that happens. What I can tell you is this. The job market in Seattle, at least, like people had just mentioned, you got Nintendo, you got Valve, you got Bungie, you got a bunch of media companies, Microsoft, media companies around gaming as well in this area that maybe I could get involved with versus me doing a 9-to-5 office job of something that I don't like. So, I don't know. We'll have to see in the future. Okay. Next question. This is from Alex, and he says, what is your stance on trading in games to get new games? Okay. Do you feel attached to your games like I do and never turn them in, or do you feel like they're just collecting dust and they should be done away with? I'm very much attached to every game that I purchase, even if it's shitty. I grew up very poor, and my mom could only afford maybe 1 or 2 games a year, so I also have a fear that if I trade in a game that I may end up missing it or wanting to replay it again sometime down the line, or the game will become very rare and I may be making a mistake. I can understand what Alex is saying. There's a sentimental value, especially when it comes to things that maybe you had in your childhood or things that were real near and dear to you, maybe your favorite game of all time, and you want to physically own that game. I certainly can tell you that when it comes to things such as Final Fantasy 3 or 6, whatever you want to call it, that I did a full playthrough of, it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's a game that I like to go back to from time to time to play. And, you know, it's a lot of fun. And the thing is, when I was younger and I was foolish, I actually traded in all my Super Nintendo games, my Final Fantasies and all that. I traded them in to try to get some money to go off doing something else. And years later, I kicked myself in the ass. I said, why the hell did I ever sell these games? I should have saved them. How foolish of me. But I don't really think, quite honestly, I have, say, a sentimental value attached to the physical game. Maybe to the game itself, to the playing of the game, sure. If I had no manner whatsoever to ever play Final Fantasy 3, 6 again, I might be upset. But I know right now, at any time, I could go buy it at a thrift store. You could buy it online. There's people who still have them. There's emulated versions of them. And yeah, people will say, oh, but you're playing emulated. Listen, if you're emulating or stealing a new game, that's different. But let's face it, Square Enix is not making any new money off of Final Fantasy 6 right now. And if the only method I could get was to play it on an emulator, I could do that. Okay? That's different than back, maybe you wouldn't been able, maybe if you think, oh, I can never play it again, but that's kind of the difference about the digital age, is that everything's on demand. How many on-demand PlayStation 2 games can you play on the PlayStation 3? And how many PlayStation 3 games eventually will be on demand for PlayStation 4? You know what I mean? Like, these games are going to be sold and resold and rebought for years and years and years. So, no, quite honestly, I never really had a sentimental attachment to my original copy of the game. I get the sentiment when I play the game, like, wow, I remember how good this is, the plot's great and all that. But I don't really get that feeling just by looking at the game, you know what I mean? So, in that regards, no, I've never been, like, physically attached to the games or the game collections that I've ever had. I can understand, here's someone, this Alex says that he only had 1 or 2 games a year. Okay, if you were only getting 1 or 2 games a year, yeah, I could see maybe you were getting a lot of sentimental attachment. I was lucky enough that I had a few new games a year, and I was constantly renting games. My mom would rent games for me, so I would play a ton of games in a year. But yeah, no, I understand people who have sentimental value. I do attach sentimental value to stuff, just not games. I've got those keychains that I talked about, that my friend T gave me back in the days when we used to go to our local arcade. And now I will hold on to those keychains for the rest of my life because I feel that is like the one attachment that I still have to him when he was lost, in the 90s when unfortunately, he passed away. So I do have sentimental value attached to stuff, just not my video game collection. Okay. Next question. From Cody Carls, he says, you mentioned not too long ago that you received your green screen, and I was wondering what's been up with that. Do you plan on spending any time trying to use it during downtime and slower weeks? Is it going to be a while before we expect it? Thanks, and thanks for answering my question. And he's not the only person who asked that. A few other people did. He was just the first person. And the answer is this. Yes, I did purchase a green screen setup. It's not only a green screen, it's also lighting, professional style lighting. There's like this big boom light that goes over you that like supposed to be above you to stop shadows. Like you can see right now on my back wall, there's shadows. That would show up on the green screen. It's supposed to get rid of those, okay? But it's a big setup. It's a big rig. You have to build it behind me. I have to build it here with clips and stuff to hold the green screen in place. And the thing is, I would like to use it, but right now with all the games that I'm going through and all the stuff happening, I just don't have time. Come 2015, I want to toss out that the year 2015 is basically going to be a year of kind of renewal, all right? And what I mean by that is you're going to see lots of new stuff coming out that I didn't do before. You're going to see the return of Project 7, the original idea that I had for it. You're going to see a new series about YouTube, and it's a comedy series that's going to be coming out. I like to find the time to work and try to figure out the green screen. There's new stuff coming in 2015, and that's kind of the time when I'm going to start messing around with this green screen, so maybe I can use it in something like Project 7, okay? But I don't have time right now. Right now we're in the middle of the hardcore gaming season. And yeah, this week in particular may be slow, but coming up we've got a ton of weeks that are going to be incredibly busy, and people are going to be all about where's the new stuff, you know what I mean? And I have to be on top of that. So no, in the next several weeks into the end of the year, I'm pretty much booked. But come next year, there's high potential that's when I'll finally be messing with that. I know I wanted to do it during the summer. It didn't come together. And now, unfortunately, I'm caught up with stuff. We'll see what happens in 2015. Okay. Next question. This one's from Kappa Dog. And he says, hey, Phil, now that you've gotten accustomed to the Seattle lifestyle, do you notice any differences in how people were in Connecticut compared to the people in Seattle? Do you notice if people have a Seattle accent when talking in English? First of all, the accent question, because that's the easier one. No, in fact, I think everyone out here sounds about the same. And it's funny because some people out here have said to us that we have an accent, and I'm like, what? You sound like me. So I don't hear it, but apparently some people can detect that people are from different areas of the country or something. But no, I have not. Everyone here seems to sound, the same as they did back on the East Coast. But the mentality of the people is different. Let me explain. On the East Coast of the United States, it's all about, I got to get from point A to point B in minimal amount of time, hustle and bustle, always constantly busy, always constantly moving, always constantly doing everything. I'm involved in this. I'm on my phone. I'm driving. I'm going here and there. You're on the road. God forbid that you sit at a red light for 2 extra seconds when it turns green because people will be slamming on their fucking horn. Get the fuck out of my way. I got to go. I'm in a hurry. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And basically, it's a heart attack kind of living. Honestly, it's like your blood pressure is always at maximum because at any point you might get hit by a car or some shit might happen and everyone's always running around it constantly. It's not like that on the West Coast. On the West Coast, it's a way of living that's a lot more laid back. It's a lot more accepting. That's another thing. A lot more accepting and non-judgmental. You can actually go out here with a mohawk and a freaking crazy t-shirt, you know what I mean, and walk the streets, and you're not going to get people saying, look at that asshole. No, people are, whatever. Treat him like a normal dude. People driving. This is what I've noticed. Really, people driving take their sweet time. Very rarely do I see someone who's in a rush to get anywhere. Again, red light changes, waiting and waiting. Red turn signal changes, takes them forever to go. And for me, okay, it's something that I have to get used to and learn because like I said, I've lived on the East Coast my whole life where that New York state of mind where, everyone's flying around and bumper to bumper and blah, 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 blah. And here it's a lot more laid back and calming and relaxing. And so when I'm not all stressed out about stuff that's going on here in the house and stuff, it's actually a lot nicer out here in that regard, especially at this point in my life where I really need more relaxation. It's actually helped in that regard. So I actually like that mentality. I like the fact that people don't basically get up in your shit. And, it is a lot more calm. Now, there's some people who maybe just basically don't like that. I like the fact that I'm busy at every moment of my life and I got to get to point A to point B because I'm going to die someday and I can't waste my time and blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's okay if that's how you want to live, right? But that's not how it is out here. And if you come out here with that mentality, you're going to be like, what the hell? I can't I don't understand. People aren't flying 90 miles per hour down a side road. No, they don't do that shit out here. Out here, people are like respectable and careful. It's a lot different. That's the major change that I've seen. Okay. Next question. This is one that a bunch of people have asked me. This one is from Pancake, and he asked the following. Are you going to be setting up a new P.O. box so that the fans can send stuff to you at any point? I've thought about it. The thing is, remember, I had a P.O. box in Connecticut for years. And early on, when I first did it, and keep in mind, this was many, many years ago, 3-4 years ago, when I first opened up the P.O. box, I got fan mail all the time. People would send me cool stuff from where they lived in other countries, and I'd get games and cool things in the mail, and things that I would show, t-shirts and stuff all the time, and that was nice. And then I'd say probably after a year or two, it trickled down, it stopped, it slowed down a little bit. I didn't mention the P.O. box as much, so people really weren't sending me that much stuff. And then by the end of 2013, it was so expensive to maintain this P.O. box. I shit you not. They told me the renewal notice was like almost $700 for the year. The United States Postal Service was going to charge me $700 to have a P.O. box that they don't tell me when I get an item. There's no notification system whatsoever. And they routinely would just mail shit back to the people who sent it to me because they were dicks. They just didn't care. I said, screw this. I'm not keeping the P.O. box. Okay? So now I live in Washington State, okay? And by the way, we're already having problems with the United States Postal Service here, so by no chance am I ever going to get a P.O. box with them again. They suck. But there is actually a UPS store very close by, like a block away, that I could easily get to if I wanted to have a P.O. box, and UPS actually emails you when they receive an item. What a groundbreaking feature. You mean in 2014 someone sends you an email? Holy shit. I can't believe the technology, right? So I've been considering possibly, again, in 2015 this would be, in 2015, opening up a new P.O. box over at the UPS store, but I haven't looked at the pricing yet. If the pricing is reasonable, all right, so, okay, it's a couple $100 a year. That's reasonable. Not $700 a year for something that I was barely using, okay? So, yes, I will consider doing a P.O. box. At this point, I have no direct plans of doing it immediately, but I may do it in the near future, okay? Excuse me. So, next question is from Bushidoa. He's a longtime viewer and fan, and he actually does from time to time submit fan art and do other stuff, so thank you, Bushi, for the question. He says, Phil, you seem to be getting up to date now with WWE programming and all the shitty Bella Twins segments. Oh, boy. By the way, tonight I'm watching wrestling, which I forgot to mention on the pre-stream tonight. So, I get to catch up on WWE. Okay. But I was wondering what your opinion is of CM Punk's departure from said company, and do you think he'll ever return to pro wrestling in general? Well, if you've actually been staying abreast of the, I don't know why I say abreast. There's a word that I'm thinking of. It's not abreast, but if you're staying in the mix of pro wrestling, CM Punk's gone. CM Punk quit WWE after the Royal Rumble this year. He hated the storylines he was in. They weren't going to put him in any position to do anything he wanted to do. They were going to put him in a shitty feud with Kane, which they ended up giving to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan ended up winning WrestleMania, and now he's out because he's injured. It's like, so CM Punk just saw all this shit going on. I don't want any part of this company anymore. You know, I was with them. I did their bullshit for years. I can't take it anymore. CM Punk is a very outspoken individual. He stands up for what he believes in. He will risk his own personal prosperity for the sake of doing what he feels is right. And he felt that leaving the company at that point made a statement that they didn't know what they were doing, and he just stuck to his guns and he left. Okay? A lot of people have issue with that. They say Punk should have came back. He should have, you know, at least honored his contract, which was through July of this year. And, you know, there's a lot of different schools of thought. I actually, on Smart Guys, when this happened, when he left, I publicly talked about my feelings at the time, and they're kind of the same. You know, CM Punk needed to do what he felt was right. If you're in a position that you're doing something for a job and you don't have your heart in it anymore and you don't believe in it anymore and you think that it's wrong and, you know, you actually have morality issues with what's going on with that job and you leave, you got to do it. You got to do what you feel is right inside. You can't keep going through and being just a cog in the machine and being used. And that's what he felt like he was doing. He's come out publicly since then and said he's done. He's made enough money. He saved his money. He didn't blow it like a lot of these other people in the industry. And he's done. He doesn't want to do pro wrestling anymore. He's happy to just fade into obscurity and maybe do celebrity appearances from time to time, and that's it. And you know what? More power to him. If that's really what he wants to do with his life, he lived his life his way, right? And he left when he felt it wasn't in his control to live his life the way he wanted to live it anymore. He recently got married to AJ Lee. I don't know how many people know that. He actually, in real life, got married to AJ Lee. So now he's probably starting a family soon, I would think. And good, more power to him. Good on him. And I wish him the best, because that's the kind of person you got to be in life. A person who you stand up for what you believe in, you're outspoken, and when shit comes and bullshit happens, you call bullshit for what it is. I think I actually draw a lot of parallels between myself and him, the way that he's lived his life. Now, the difference is, I didn't make $5 bajillion for the couple years that I was popular on YouTube, right? So, unfortunately, I would like to say, well, fuck it, I quit YouTube and walk away and just sit on my money for the rest of my life. I can't do that. The bottom line also is, unlike him, I'm not being told by WWE to do terrible storylines. I control what I do. I control what I play. I have a different situation than him, and I actually like what I'm doing. So I'm going to continue to do it and have fun doing it and make money doing it. He felt it was time to stop that lifestyle, and he did, and I hope that he has a great life, and I hope no one bothers, because that's the thing. Celebrities constantly get bothered, and he just wants to, like, kind of fade into obscurity and be a normal person, and people won't let him. On the street, he gets stopped. Interviewers want to have... people crashed his wedding, taking pictures and shit. Unbelievable. So, whatever. I hope that he has a good life. Okay. A couple more questions, and then we're going to take a break. Next question is from DML897. And he says, earlier on, I think maybe in 2010, in an Ask the King video, you mentioned your feelings on mobile gaming at that time. That while it is a viable source of income and a good money-making, structure for businesses, that it was kind of dumb and the iPad and iPhone were terrible forms for gaming, or platforms for gaming. Now you own an iPad and an iPhone, and you play games on them regularly to the point where you're talking about them and even talking about doing videos on them. I'm not here to be one of those people who says, oh, DSP's a hypocrite, because let's face it, over time, people's opinions can change on stuff. Holy shit, an intelligent human who understands that something that I said in 2010 doesn't necessarily have to be the black and white statement of what I feel about something, and that my attitude can change over time. Holy crap, an intelligent human. It takes a while to get to one of these, apparently, but that's okay. Okay, so... his question is, what changed for you? What made you go from a mobile hater of sorts to enjoying the platform so much that you're now going to be doing a series with mobile games and stuff, okay? Alright, so let's talk. Because I 100%, what the hell? I 100%, look what just booted when I turned on my iPhone. WWE Supercard, right? You can't see it because of the light, oops. WWE Supercard, a game that I've been playing recently. I've mentioned over the past year I've been playing the Injustice app a lot, okay? So, yes, I completely, utterly, 100% understand mobile gaming and how it works. But here's the thing, and this kind of still stands true to the point that I was making way back when. Basically the point I was trying to make was that this game here, I'm going to show you, just to show you how stupid this game is, okay? You go into a menu, you click here. Oh, okay, look, there's cards on the screen. So I tap, look, here's the extent of mobile gaming and where it can go. I'm about to show you, okay? Just look at this. Little cards, there's cards, they come out on the screen, right? And then I tap an option. Okay, here's my option. And the little cards are dancing down to the ring. And look, it's cute, the cards are fighting. Oh, the cards are fighting. Oh, it's so cute. And you see my point? The point that I was trying to make back then is that mobile gaming, although it may be a viable... look, oh, here come the cards. They're cute. They're walking down to the ring. They bounce around the road. Look, they're going to fight. Look. Oh, they're charging up like Dragon Ball. And now they're going to... look, come on. Oh, I'm charging up. Oh, I'm charging up. Oh, and then they bounce off of each other. And, oh, and you win the fight. See what I mean? That's mobile gaming. That's the extent of what you're going to get. You're going to get very simplified, really quick to digest, little feed here or there experiences. This game is nowhere near even on the level of any game that I would buy on a console or play on the PC seriously. This is a time waster, okay? If you're doing something else, like at night, maybe I'm watching a movie, I'm relaxing on the couch with Leanna, we're watching a show together, I open this up and I bash through it for a couple hours, right? It's a time waster. It's not a significant artistic experience of anything. It's a card bouncing off the ropes, right? So, this is, you know what I mean? Here you go. Tap it. Oh, look, they're fighting. Oh, they're fighting. Oh, Brock Lesnar. Oh, I won. Oh, and that's the game. Do you think that this holds up to anything that you would have that a real game developer, you know, put a significant amount of time into, with plot, with characters, with music, with, you know what I mean? I don't even play this with the sound on. I just play it muted. And that's what I mean. That's mobile gaming. That's what most people do with mobile gaming. And so the point that I was making back then, not that mobile gaming is kind of, it's bad, but it is silly. It's a time waster. It's something to not be taken seriously. Do you think I would ever play The Last of Us on my fucking mobile phone? Do you think The Last of Us could even be portrayed or experienced properly on a mobile phone? No. That's an experience. It's a cinematic experience. You want to see it on a widescreen TV with nice surround sound, where you can see the beautiful graphics, you get to hear all the dialogue, all the voice acting, all the incredible stuff that happened during the course of the game. That's not this. Oh, I won some cards. Look, what card did I get? It's not working. Oh, I got Damien Sandow as a card. Oh, that was the point I was making. The thing is, this stuff is big business. This right here, tapping, and then, oh, I can't progress. I got to spend some money to progress, and people put their money in. It's big fucking business. It's huge. It's addicting. I completely understand. Tonight, there's an event in this game that I'm going to be playing. It's a new event. Just started tonight. The People's Champion event. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Special stuff. I'm going to be doing it because I think it's cool. It's fun. It's a time waster. Yeah, I'll be doing other stuff while I play. I'm not just going to be sitting there playing it. I'll be watching shows or doing something else as I do it. But this isn't the same experience as just sitting down and enjoying something in your home on a console or on a PC. It's not an immersive experience. That was the point I was making. It's gaming, but it's a different kind of gaming. It's more of the instant digestion, boom, 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 and then it's over. Right now, I can put this phone down, and I didn't miss anything. I didn't miss out. You know what I mean? It's who cares? And that's the point. When you're playing The Last of Us, you're engrossed. Oh, what's going to happen with the characters? What's going to happen with this? This is like at any time. I don't care. Turn the fucking phone off. I don't care about it anymore. And I put it over here, right? It's just something to kill time. And that's kind of the point that I was making. And some people will say that I'm a hypocrite because I play those games. No. Just like I just said, that's not artistic gaming. That's not big picture, you know, next-gen gaming. That's little kitty shit to kill time to make money. And that's really what it is. And so many people are addicted to it, and they're dumping hundreds and hundreds of dollars into these games. And it's like, wow, like really? Like that is how you're spending your money. Instead of spending it on these great, amazing games that people are making and groundbreaking and really changing it, the art form, or changing the games into an art form, you're spending $400 on a card game where you tap like this. That was the point I was trying to make years ago. So understand, it still holds true. Look at the games that I'm playing. If anything, they've proven my point. That's the crap that's out there right now. All right, everyone. I'm going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to have the final part of Ask the King. I've got a page and a half of questions left, but some of these are quicker questions that I think we'll get through. So again, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to just jump right to part 3. If you're watching this on Twitch, I'm going to be taking a short break, commercial break. I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. We got the final set of questions coming right up. I'll be right back.